Yo, it's your boy, Smoke Method Meta video. Today's video, we'll be having a career simulation of Drake Maye. Drake Maye was the third overall pick in this previous draft, and the New England Patriots got him. He sat a little bit time on the bench from Jacoby Brissett being the starter, but now it seems like the Patriots are ready to have him as a starter. They're ready for the Drake Maye era to start. And he against the Jaguars, against the Jaguars in London, he had 2 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and then his very first season debut as a starter, at least, he had 3 passing touchdowns and 2 interceptions against the Houston Texans. So not too bad of a start. I see right here they finished the year 5-12, and we did start from the season point. So where we are right now, currently in the season, is where we're at. So Drake Maye, 2,504 passing yards in his rookie year, 19 passing touchdowns and 10 interceptions, a 62 completion percentage, and an 89.6 rating. He was only sacked 20 times. I don't feel like that's bad at all. And then you got Jacoby Brissett, who had 2 passing touchdowns and 1 interception with a 58 completion percentage. And he was sacked 17 times, and he played a lot less games, so it looks like Jacoby Brissett, the offensive line, didn't like him as much. Or maybe he just took a lot longer to pass. But anyway, Ramondre Stevenson, 851 yards, and he had 10 rushing touchdowns. He did have 4 fumbles, though. That's a good amount of fumbles. Antonio Gibson with 477 yards. And then Kendrick Bourne, he was able to get 3 yards as well. Demario Douglas was a leading receiver with 844 yards, 8 receiving touchdowns. Hunter Henry coming in second place with 680 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns. And KJ Osborne, 409 receiving yards with 3 receiving touchdowns. You see right here, Javon Booker. A lot of people got involved with the New England receiving game. There was like 5, 6 different people with at least 100 yards. So MVP of the year was Lamar Jackson. Let's go and see. Defensive player of the year, it was TJ Watt. And then what we're really looking for is offensive rookie of the year. See Drake Maye here, but no, it was Brian Thomas, then Xavier Worthy, Bo Nix, Landon McConkey, Keon Coleman, Brock Bowers, Troy Franklin, and then Drake Maye in 8th. So he was only 8th in voting. So, I mean, I didn't really think he would win because it's not a spectacular rookie year, but I was curious to see who won it anyway. And the next year, the New England Patriots, with an 81 overall, they finished 6-11. So again, they continue to struggle, but I feel like their overall is getting a little bit better. And I feel maybe in 2-3 years, maybe they can start to make some noise. Drake Maye also does need to progress. Oh, yeah, that was a rough year right there. So he had a rough second year with only 3,211 passing yards, 18 passing touchdowns, but with 19 passing interceptions. So he had more interceptions than touchdowns in his second year. And he did have a 61 completion percentage, sacked 45 times. Looks like Jacoby Brissett wasn't on the team anymore. Joe Milton is there as the backup. Ramondre Stevenson with 660 yards, 8 rushing touchdowns. Antonio Gibson, 8 rushing touchdowns as well with 512 yards. Drake Maye running the ball quite a bit with 368 yards. Kendrick Bourne with 777 receiving yards, 6 receiving touchdowns. Demario Douglas with 4 receiving touchdowns. Hunter Henry with 3 receiving touchdowns and 725 yards. Raheed Shaheed looks like he signed with the New England Patriots over the offseason. He had 638 yards with 4 receiving touchdowns. And Ramondre Stevenson, 108 yards. And Antonio Gibson was able to get a receiving touchdown. We put everything on auto, by the way, so I didn't personally go out and sign Raheed Shaheed. We put everything on auto. We don't affect the sim at all. We want Madden to do the sim by itself. But the Patriots have their best year so far as they make playoffs as the 6th seed. And they beat the Houston Texans in the first round, but then they end up losing in the second round to none other than the Kansas City Chiefs. It's pretty hard to beat the Chiefs if you're in the AFC. So let's go and see how this year ended up for Drake Maye and the New England Patriots, considering they made playoffs. So 3,829 yards, 31 passing touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. Okay, this is definitely the best year we've seen from Drake Maye. Over 30 passing touchdowns mark. That's definitely starting to range more towards the elite side than mid. 13 passing interceptions, that is a little much, but we'll take it. I mean, definitely his best year. Cam Akers is a New England Patriot with 917 rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. Drake Maye, 415 yards and a rushing touchdown. Jose Gooden, looks like the Patriots drafted him with 10 receiving touchdowns, 1,155 yards. Demario Douglas, 819 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns. Raheem Shaheed was tied with the most receiving touchdowns with 10. So right after they make the AFC divisional round, they miss playoffs very badly. They don't just miss playoffs. They are atrocious. They're 2-15. So I don't really understand that at all in the sim, but I guess we'll go and see. And it starts with Drake Maye, I guess. I don't know. Drake Maye didn't do that well this year. 3,493 yards, 18 passing touchdowns, but also 18 interceptions. So that is not great at all. 62 completion percentage. Cam Akers is still on the Patriots. He had 717 yards, 5 rushing touchdowns. Drake Maye, 444 rushing yards with 4 rushing touchdowns. I didn't know Drake Maye was really that mobile, but apparently in this Madden sim, he's getting quite a few yards, over 400 yards. Jose Gooden, 6 receiving touchdowns, 1,062 yards, and then Booker was 750 yards. And then the year after they finished 2-15, they go from 2-15 to 5-12. Keep in mind, these are 2 years after they just made the AFC divisional round. So I guess it was a fluke. That's really what it started to look like. But anyway, we are in the 2028 season. Keep in mind, everything is on auto. So all the roster moves I have no say over whatsoever. Let's go ahead and check Drake Maye's stats. I think his 5th-year option came up, so it looks like they picked up his 5th-year option. Anyway, 3,583 yards, 21 passing touchdowns, and 15 interceptions, 67 completion percentage, and a rating of 91.4. Ramondre Stevenson, 677 yards, and 5 rushing touchdowns. Drake Maye, 327 yards, 5 rushing touchdowns. Rondell Moore is the leading receiver for the Patriots, 1,012 yards with 4 receiving touchdowns. And then Jose Gooden, 9 receiving touchdowns with 985 yards. Kendrick Bourne, 711 yards with 2 receiving touchdowns. And Ramondre Stevenson got 178 yards. So the New England Patriots really need to improve, as again, now we're 2 years into the future, so we really look closely into their 3rd through 4th year. But then after that, we skip a few years to see how they do. But anyway, they again missed the playoffs. The Patriots are really starting to not be a good team. You know, they just had that amazing dynasty with Tom Brady, and it's not looking like they really found their QB of the future quite yet, as Drake Maye has put up another season of, I mean, these aren't horrible numbers. 3,933 yards, 26 passing touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. A completion percentage of 71%, though. I mean, that's a pretty solid completion percentage, or at least a lot better than what we've been seeing from him. Looks like they drafted a rookie running back, and he got 818 yards with 4 rushing touchdowns. They signed Jordan Addison in free agency, and he was able to get 993 receiving yards. And then Jose Gooden, 7 receiving touchdowns with 984 receiving yards. And then McGree, looks like another auto-generated person they drafted, with 866 receiving yards. And then the Patriots again. So now we're all the way up to the 2035 season, and the Patriots finished 2-15. So yeah, the whole Drake Maye era looks like it's coming to an end soon. Not that many years left, I would have to guess, for Drake Maye, maybe like 3 more years. But this is actually a really not bad season for him. I mean, 3,103 yards, 20 passing touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. The passing touchdowns is low, don't get me wrong, but so is the interceptions. He was sacked 51 times, so that he is sacked quite a bit in this season. Let's go check the rushing. He was the leading rusher. Drake Maye, leading rusher with 475 yards and 1 rushing touchdown. Sidney Shepard, looks like an auto-generated guy. He got 361 yards with 3 rushing touchdowns. Tyler Owens, he got 938 yards with 5 receiving touchdowns. Joey Lamb, 797 yards with 5 receiving touchdowns. And again, another receiver with 5 receiving touchdowns, Sacer. And then Lamar Bonds, he was able to get 184 yards with a receiving touchdown. So the Patriots really need to figure it out. I mean, Drake Maye has retired. There was a weird glitch in Madden where I wasn't able to get his career stats, but as you could tell right there, I mean, you could just tell from the years that we highlighted that he had a pretty mid-career. And just to double check, I wanted to see if he held any kind of record for the Patriots. I know even if he wasn't had a midseason, it would be hard because, there's a guy named Tom Brady who, he was pretty good for the Patriots, so it's hard to have any kind of record. But you see right there, I don't see no career record, no season record for the Patriots. Then I even checked game record, no passing touchdowns, no passing yards, no. Then I was thinking maybe rookie season because he actually got to play in his rookie season. Tom Brady, I can't remember if Tom Brady did play in his rookie season or not. I think he did, but it was like late in the season. Or I can't remember if it was that or his second year. But anyway, Mac Jones held it, and then rookie game, there's no Tom Brady or there's no Drake Maye. So Patriots fans, that's around the end of the simulation. This is no Tom Brady, that is for sure. He does give you some solid years. I mean, definitely not some years to be ashamed of. But in the majority of things, he really is just a mediocre quarterback, and he helps get you by. He's not really a game changer. He's just more of a game manager. Anyway, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe for more Madden 25 content.